Hi everyone, my name is Kristen Hertzog and I'm absolutely thrilled to be a guest lecturer for Millersville University's Global Perspectives of Social Work course. Ironically, your professor, Lauren Corso, was actually a college intern of mine way back in the day when I was running a nonprofit organization in Haiti, and we had the opportunity to travel to Haiti together with a small team and see really some of the positives and negatives of how social work is used in the country of Haiti. So the way I'd like to deal with this class is I'd like to share with you my personal journey with Haiti to help you better understand my own perspectives as well as some of the solutions that I have found to be both long-term and sustainable. So here we go. My first trip to Haiti, I was 16 years old. And I had to go away from my parents. I was not really excited with my parents at the time. And what better way to spend 10 days in the cold month of January than to get away from my parents in sunny, warm Haiti. I went with a group of people on a medical mission trip, and I was the youngest one there. Probably the most meaningful thing that happened in that trip was that during the course of the trip, we were traveling in a very poor city slum right outside of Port-au-Prince. And as we were walking, this group of foreigners, a Haitian woman came up to me, handed me this filthy, crumpled up towel, and ran away. And I looked down at this towel in my hands, and the towel started moving. And I opened up this towel and I realized that inside of it was not something other than a little Haitian girl. And I did what many people would do. I started screaming. Somebody help me. This lady just handed me her baby and ran away. And some of the guys on our trip ran after her, brought her back to me. And she said to me in Creole, this 16-year-old self-absorbed girl, I thought you could give my daughter a better life in America. It was transformative for me. And it was in that moment that I knew I was going to be actively involved in the country of Haiti and that this was going to be a part of my own journey. Many years later in life, my husband and I actually did adopt a Haitian girl who is now almost 20 years old. And I am absolutely amazed at how things come full circle. About 10 years after that trip to Haiti, that first trip, I was working in professional theater. As a supporting lead actress, I was doing some modeling, a lot of me-focused activities. And I remembered about that commitment I made to myself in Haiti and started leading small teams to Haiti. Sometimes we would bring down clothes to give away. Other times we would do rice feeding programs, sit with orphan children in an orphanage, and really just a lot of different types of things that I thought were such a great idea at the time. And this went on for many, many years. There was one year, however, that I had brought down a group of young people, like youth group age, and we were going to build a house. And we were very proud of this project. And I can still remember these young people, maybe 16 to 25 years old, so excited to help build this house. No one had any building experience at all. And really, again, here we were in a similar situation where young people without a lot of skills or knowledge trying to produce and create projects that felt meaningful. Well, during the course of that week, as this inexperienced team of foreigners is building this Haitian house outside of the city, I noticed that there was a group of several men each day who would sit along the side of the road watching this team and kind of talking to each other in Creole. So one day I got the guts up to walk over to them and say in my best Haitian Creole, which isn't great, hey, you guys must be really excited to have this brand new house in your neighborhood. And they looked at me and they said, actually, no, we're not happy about it at all. My initial response in my mind was, well, isn't that ungrateful? And then the first gentleman said to me, I'm a plumber. The second said, I'm an electrician. The third said, I'm a mason. And several of these other men in the group were also working in the trades. And they said to me, Madam, your little team right there has just taken jobs away from us to help us to feed our families. And by the way, they do not know what they're doing. That was a very humbling moment for me because I realized that as much as I wanted to help Haiti and as much as I felt like I was doing something meaningful, I actually, in each situation, really had not produced something sustainable. And that was when I really started to think about education. What do we need to help Haitians have better opportunities to become full-time, paid, sustainable human beings and contribute not only to their families, but also to the community and the country as a whole? So I actually went back to school. I was accepted into Harvard University's Division of Continuing Education for a business leadership coaching certification. My heart has always been one of a teacher, and I found that not only were there many young people who really desired additional education to get jobs in business or computer science, but there was also this whole other group of business owners and people within organizations and churches and businesses that really wanted additional skills. So I went to Harvard on this very exciting journey, got my certification, and started doing business coaching. And one thing led to another. I was being asked to speak and to talk with different groups of people, different businesses. And a CEO of a leading software company in Haiti had asked me to start coaching him on some of the business practices and ways that he could improve his company from the inside so that he could grow it to the outside. And one thing led to another with that, and I actually ended up being in that space with him, and we were talking about job creation. He had slightly under 50 full-time employees at the time working in Port-au-Prince in IT and software development, and he wanted to grow the organization. So he asked me if I would be willing to become vice president of a brand new unit or department of business development, creating not only the initial team, but then 3 subdivisions of customer service, marketing and media, and sales. And so in addition to this continuous desire to help with education, which I still do today. I am the executive board member for a 501c3 nonprofit organization called Hope for Haiti Benefit Auction that basically funds education and job trainings in Haiti. But on my professional side, I am a paid salaried VP of business for a thriving company that has been recognized internationally as a leading company in software. But really, for me, the idea of being sustainable, the idea of getting involved in something that makes sense for my personality, my skills, my education, my soft skills, which have played a huge part in much of the work I've done in Haiti. My desire is to see Haiti become more self-sustainable. And it wasn't that long ago where my entire living room was filled with clothes for me to pack and take down to Haiti with a team to give away on the street. And boy, did people here give. Ski jackets, boots, vests, sweaters, things that Haitians don't even use because it's so warm down there. And at the time, I felt like that was a great thing. But today, being able to interview people, hire people, watch people go from being students and graduates to actually being gainfully employed has been absolutely fulfilling for me. I want to leave you with one takeaway. Here in the United States, the average amount of people who are directly affected by one person's paycheck is 2 people. Okay? So if you are in a job, think about yourself, and you are getting paid for your work. You are affected by it, and potentially 1 or 2 other people. In the country of Haiti, because of the very high unemployment rate and the lack of services or government assistance, the average gainfully employed Haitian does not only affect themselves, but 11 other people. Think about that. That paycheck is going to help perhaps with sending that person's sister to school. Or maybe it's paying for medication for their mother. Or perhaps it's helping their uncle start a new business. But if we think about the domino effect, the long-term possibilities of education, training, and job assistance, we really can make a meaningful difference through social work, through humanitarian work, through business to help people have better lives, not only for themselves, but for their families, their neighborhoods, their communities, and their country. Thanks so much.